Explore the beauty of Nashville with Jody's Journeys, May 29th through June 2nd. Join Jody Griner, your travel guide, and explore the treasures of Nashville. Contact Jody Griner at 641-660-6417. This tour only holds 50 seats. Demand is high. Secure your spot now. Call Jody's Journeys at 641-660-6417. Again, Jody's Journeys is going to Nashville, May 29th through June 2nd.
And here's your host, Steve Shedler.
Hi. Hey, you. Good morning to you. It's time for the morning wake up here on Steve Shedler Media. It's brought to us by our friends at Home Plate Sports Cards in Oskaloosa. And you can find Home Plate Sports Cards at 641-676-1516, located at 1516 A Avenue East, Oskaloosa. They are open Wednesday through Friday, 5:30 to 8:30 p.m., Saturday noon to 6, Sunday noon to 4. There's no place like Home Plate Sports Cards. Eddie Pearson at Home Plate Sports Cards in Oskaloosa bringing us our morning wake-up here on Steve Shedler Media, live from Oski Dental Studios. That's a new thing. Hey, I would just like to say things are off to a much better start today than they were yesterday. Yesterday was a train wreck. You know, I'm still seeing, though, right over here, right down there. I don't know why I don't have an image where it says your image. So I guess we'll just have to deal with that today, though. But hey, we do thank Home Plate Sports Cards bringing us our morning wake up here on Steve Shedler Media. Let's do our forecast. It's brought to us by the Garden Gate in Sigourney at 105 South Jefferson in Sigourney, 641-622-3191. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, Saturday, 9 to noon. And they're having their Goodbye to Winter open house coming up this Friday and Saturday, 9 to 5 and 9 to 2. So stop in as Cindy and the gals, the crew at the Garden Gate say goodbye to winter and a hello to spring. So check in to the Garden Gate for that this weekend. Our forecast for today, mostly cloudy skies, a high of 53, north winds at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 31. Tomorrow, mostly sunny. That'll be nice, and a high of 55. Wednesday night will be cloudy and 37. Thursday, a 40% chance of some rain afternoon, cloudy, and a high of 55. Right now, our current conditions in southeast Iowa, humidity at 89%, north winds at about 10, maybe to 15 miles per hour, and the barometer at 30.00. We got 40 degrees right now in southeast Iowa. Your weather brought to us by the Garden Gate in Sigourney. Hey, coming up later on today, we will put up our question of the day. It's always brought to us by Amy's Salon House and Spa at 202 North Main in Sigourney. Call or text for an appointment, 641-622-3772. Hair services, spa services, extensions, products, and tanning at Amy's Salon House and Spa in Sigourney. And our question of the day, coming up this weekend, we're going to be changing time again. We're going to be springing ahead. So my question that I'm going to pose to you is, do we keep changing time twice a year, or should we put a stop to the madness? Changing time pretty much drives me crazy. So what do you think? Is it worth screwing up our sleep schedules to keep changing time, to fall back in the fall, to spring ahead in the spring. Keep changing time twice a year or stop the madness. That'll be our question of the day. Goes up at noon here on Steve Shetler Media, so make sure you let your comments be known later on when that gets posted. Coming up later on this week here on Steve Shetler Media, we've got our Iowa Music Showcase live from Barnwired in Sigourney from 11:30 to noon. We always give you live music, and this Friday will be the Chickadees. Funny trivia, the Chickadees were my last radio interview. In fact, things went south real quick after I interviewed the Chickadees last year. So tune in. We'll reunite. Hopefully, I'll still have a job after this Friday. The Chickadees. I love the gals from the Chickadees. They are good people, and they've got great music coming up on Friday from 11:30 to noon at Barnwired in Sigourney. You can stop in, be part of it live, get something to eat, get some lunch, get some coffee, do some shopping at Barnwired, or just watch it live on Steve Shetler Media, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. Or, by the way, you can also go to steveshetlermedia.com. That is an official thing now. I have a website, and it is up and running. I need to start promoting it more, but you can see all the videos at steveshetlermedia.com. Check that out. The Chickadees going to be our guests on this week's Iowa Music Showcase here on Steve Shetler Media. Let's see here. We'll also be getting back to the sports section live from Brothers Market in Sigourney this Saturday morning. We'll have Shay Moore and Carly Goodwin coming up as at least some of our guests. And, of course, our new host, Jenny Hobbs, will be hanging out Saturday morning, 8 a.m. at Brothers Market for the sports section. So tune in then. Let's see here. Other stuff going on here on Steve Shetler Media. A new thing you may have noticed. It started yesterday, and it's sponsored by Stacy Flynn at the Legacy Insurance Group and Welcome Realty, is This or That. It's just a fun thing to do on Facebook, and that goes up every weekday morning at 6 a.m. So this or that, you just say which one you'd like. So today is indoor pool or outdoor pool. I don't know. That's a tough choice. You'd like the sunshine coming down on you, but boy, it'd be nice to be inside too, where it's climate controlled, and maybe you don't have to worry about bugs getting into the water. Tough choice. Let us know what you think at the Steve Shetler Media Facebook page. This or That, brought to us by Stacy Flynn, Legacy Insurance Group, Welcome Realty. Also, a new thing going on here in the last few days is something to smile about. That's a weekday thing now here on Steve Shetler Media. It's brought to us by Dr. Stacy Freeze at Lifetime Dental Solutions, and we're bringing you a good news story. In fact, we'll get to that a little bit later on, so stay tuned for that. Something coming up here on Steve Shetler Media here just a little bit later on this morning. We'll be replaying my interview with Chris from the Malpass Brothers. The Malpass Brothers and Lori King in Junction 63 will be performing at the Knoxville Performing Arts Center coming up this Saturday. So you can tune in. We'll have the interview with Chris from the Malpass Brothers, replaying that. We played it for the first time last week on Tuesday. We'll replay that. Chris, he's a good guy. Hey, buddy, is how he talks. So the Malpass Brothers, great traditional country musicians coming to Iowa this Saturday. We'll talk to Chris, and we'll also be giving away another pair of tickets for that show later on today here on Steve Shetler Media. So a lot to get to today. Let's do some community calendar events coming up this Sunday at the Sigourney Fire Department. Will be the Sigourney Fire Rescue EMS Soup and Sandwich Luncheon from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Again, that's at the Sigourney Fire Department, 219 South Main. Got a variety of soups, grilled cheese sandwiches, all you can eat for a free will donation. You can also get it to go. So check that out on Sunday in Sigourney. What else we got on our community calendar? Let's throw some stuff up here that I want to make you aware about. We've got the free food distribution for Wapello County veterans, for folks in the Ottumwa area and surrounding area in Wapello County. That's the first Thursday of each month from 4 to 6 at the Emergency Management Building in Ottumwa. And also on our community calendar, the Watch Here Community Club will be hosting their annual Easter egg hunt. That comes up on Saturday, March 23rd at the Watch Here Fairgrounds at 11 a.m. So lots of stuff coming up, especially Easter related, as we start to get out of our houses for spring here in Southeast Iowa. We're doing the morning wake up. It's brought to us by Home Plate Sports Cards in Oskaloosa. And we're doing it live from Oski Dental Studios here on Steve Shuttler Media. Let's do some good mornings. Let's catch up with folks in the comments. We've got Rebecca, Dan, Cindy, Nancy, Eloise, Kurt and Kathy, Tracy, Doug, Dixie, Kay, Tamra. Again, Kurt and Kathy, Sherry, the double Sherry in the comments, and Renee. Good morning to all of you. Yes, things are going better today than they were yesterday at this point. A lot better, in fact. Let's go ahead and do some birthdays. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Birthday. All right, birthdays for today. The old person, the elder folk on our celebrity birthday list today is the actor James B. Sikking from Hill Street Blues and Doogie Howser, turning 90 today. He is the oldest celebrity on the list today. So James B. Sikking or Syking? I don't know. Other birthdays today, we've got the singer, actor Murray Head. All right, can somebody in the comments tell me what song Murray Head had as a hit in the 80s? It is One Night in Bangkok. Brr, 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 brr. I had that song on a 45. I probably still do somewhere. One Night in Bangkok. You guys remember that song from it had to be about the early to mid 80s? Murray Head with a birthday today. 78 years old for good old Murray. Here's another song. That same time frame. Probably right around 1980. Eddie Grant. Does that name ring a bell? We're gonna walk down to Electric Avenue. Get higher. Electric Avenue. Eddie Grant, 76 years old today. We've got magician, illusionist Penn Jillette of Penn and Teller, turning 69 years old today. Televangelist Joel Osteen, living your best life, 61 years old today. Football player, commentator Michael Irvin, 58 years old today from the Cowboys. Let's see here. Actress Eva Mendes, turning 50 years old. Jake Lloyd. Jake Lloyd from Star Wars infamy. He was little Anakin Skywalker before Anakin grew up to become Darth Vader. Jake Lloyd, little Anakin, 35 years old. One of the worst acting performances in Star Wars history. And that's saying something. I mean, back in the day, the acting, I love the original Star Wars movies, but some of the acting. And then Jake Lloyd came along a few years later and just took it to a new level of despair. But happy birthday, Jake. Let's see here. Baseball player Kyle Schwarber of the Cubs, turning 31 years old today. On this date in history, it is, February 5th. It's March 5th. March 5th. On this date in history, 1960. Elvis Presley was able to leave the Army after 2 years of military service. So Elvis getting out of the Army in 1960. And then also on this date in 1994, a South African restaurant set the world record for the largest milkshake ever at 1,955 gallons. Almost 2,000 gallons of a milkshake. Sign me up. Put a little cherry on top, a little whipped cream. Good stuff. Good morning to you, Jan. Thanks for joining in on the stupidity this morning. Today is, by the way, on the National Day calendar. Today is Discover What Your Name Means. Do you know what your name means? I think Steve means like crowned one or something like that. My crown is headphones this morning, but crown, yeah. It's also Dress in Blue Day. It's Middle Name Pride Day. I have pride in my middle name, which is my dad's name, Kermit. Not Kermit, but Kermit. I used to be ashamed to admit my middle name was Kermit because everybody would call me Kermit the Frog. But now I take great pride in having my dad's name as my middle name. It's also, let's see here, National Cheese Doodle Day. I guess they call it like the puffy cheese puff things. Those are cheese doodles. It's National Multiple Personality Day today. Did you know that? I did not know that. Now I know. I have lots of personalities. It's National Potty Dance Day. Like if you have to go potty really bad, it's the dance that you do if you have to go potty. You have to go potty. And it's World Day of Prayer. So that's a good thing. Say a prayer or two today. Moving on. Moving right along. You know, I got to remember I got some of this good stuff here. Let's do some intro music for things you need to know. Makes me excited for things you need to know. In Thailand, the royal family could be thrown into a tizzy because the hot favorite to become the next king of Thailand. Are we really worried about who is king of Thailand? Anyway, the guy that's supposed to be the next king married an American woman, and marriage to a foreign citizen in Thailand is a deal breaker to become the ruler under Thai law. So what, pray tell, is going to happen there? I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Other things you need to know: Americans who elect to visit any Krispy Kreme shop throughout the U.S. today, Super Tuesday, can receive 2 free original glazed donuts with no purchase necessary. So if you have a Krispy Kreme shop around you somewhere, go there today and get 2 free donuts. Speaking of which, Super Tuesday, Alabama, Arkansas, California, North Carolina, Texas, all holding primary elections. And we'll see what happens there. I think we already know what's going to happen there. We'll let it play out. Other stuff you need to know: Philadelphia Eagles offensive lineman Jason Kelce. You know, the other Kelce. Travis's brother. Jason. Travis gets all the headlines. Then Jason. He's the guy that got excited and was bare-chested. He also happened to win a Super Bowl here recently, but officially retired from the NFL, so happy retirement to Jason Kelce. Let's see here. The U.S. Supreme Court ruled yesterday that former President Trump will remain on the Colorado ballot and the ballots of any other state that wanted to try to keep him off because of the January 6th events. So there. We've talked recently about how movies just aren't making the money that they used to anymore. And that is becoming apparent now as iconic movie theater chain Metropolitan Theaters Corporation has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. So, yeah, I don't know how bad it is within the industry of theaters, but will more follow suit? I don't know. But people definitely are not going to the movies like they used to. This ought to be interesting. On Thursday, President Biden's State of the Union speech is going to be Thursday night. Do we do like a drinking game for every time he either mumbles and mutters or he brings up how he talked recently to somebody that's been passed away for several years, or if he just spaces off? Come on, man. Other stuff you need to know. Wonka arrives on Max, if you get that streaming service. Wonka comes to Max on Friday. And then one more thing. They held, I don't know who they are, but they held a memorial service on Sunday for Flaco, a Eurasian eagle owl that escaped from the Central Park Zoo over a year ago. Recently, Flaco met his demise by flying into a building. Hey, Flaco, look out, there's a building! He would have turned 14 this month. Why didn't Flaco see the building? What's 14? Like, he was 14 in eagle years. What does that translate to human years? Maybe his eyesight wasn't what it used to be. I don't know. Let's do this. Today's impossible.
Impossible! It's impossible!
Question. Today's impossible question. What first name is the most common male character's name in movies? What do you think? What first name is the most common name for male characters in the movies? All right, here I am doing a scene from Titanic. Thank you. Award-winning performance on Jack. Remember Jack from Titanic? When she was on the piece of wood floating on the icy water, and there was plenty more room on that piece of wood for Jack, but he just froze in the water instead, and then she let go, and then he floated away into the freezing water. She let him go. She let him drown and die. I don't know. Did he drown or did he just freeze? Rose. And then he froze, and then she just let him go. She's like, see ya. See ya, frozen solid, drowning Jack. And then she started whistling so that she could be saved. Good stuff. Anyway, Jack is the most common name for a male character in the movies. Let's go. You know, it's breakfast time. I had my Captain Crunch earlier, but here are the top fast food chain breakfast menus as ranked by a website called tastingtable.com. So if you're going to drive through somewhere this morning, top fast food chain breakfast menus according to this website. Number one is McDonald's. I will take a, what do you call those things with the syrupy, spongy things with the egg and the mix something or other? What do you call those? I want one of those where the bun is the syrupy bacon, eggs. Those are tasty. McGriddles, yes. I could eat a McGriddle or two every morning for the rest of my life and be happy. McDonald's is number one. Chick-fil-A is 2. Dunkin' 3. Panera Bread 4. Tim Hortons 5. Burger King, Taco Bell, Carl's Jr., Jack in the Box, and Cosmix. Those are your top 10 fast food breakfast menus. McGriddle. Good morning, Billy. Thank you, Tanya. Yes, and Tyler and Cindy. Everybody knows what a McGriddle is. I love me a McGriddle. Let's go to the weird.
That is weird.
In some weird news today, a Welsh man, also now known as a Welshman, showed his love for his favorite animal by getting a record-breaking 69 different tattoos of rabbits on his body. What's up, Doc? Craig Evans, 42, said he got his first rabbit tattoo back in 2009, and now he has a total of 69 rabbits inked on his arms, legs, and chest. I mean, was there somebody at like 68 tattoos, and this guy was just like, I gotta get 69. And now the person with 68, they're just gonna be like, I'll take 2 small rabbit tattoos, please, and get the world record back. I don't know. Again, Guinness World Records. Who keeps track of this stuff? Evidently, they do. Rihanna going to be making some good money for one concert. Rihanna performed her first full concert since 2016 to a tune of, word has it, $6 million for one concert. She did it at the pre-wedding party for the son of Asia's richest man. Now, these people are known to throw expensive wedding parties. They spent more than $100 million for wedding festivities for their daughter back in 2018 when they had Beyonce perform. And now their son is getting married, and they had Rihanna do a concert. Wonder if Stacy and I renewed our vows, if this guy would like pay for Metallica to perform for me. Guy could dream. A guy can dream. Let's go to NASCAR. NASCAR on Saturday displayed a clearly altered glove that Joey Logano wore in qualifying rounds at the Atlanta Motor Speedway, where aerodynamic deflecting alterations were so obvious that it looked as if he was wearing part of an amphibious costume. The black glove for Logano's left hand had webbing made of an unspecified material in between every finger. Ooh. The magic glove. You know, in wrestling, if you had a black glove, it would be a loaded glove and you just knock out your opponent. In racing, you just wear a webbed glove and it does things that makes you win. Let's go to Oklahoma. So we talked about this yesterday. And again, yesterday's morning wake up, sponsored by Home Plate Sports Cards, live from Oski Dental Studios. Yesterday's morning show was kind of a train wreck from a technological standpoint, so you may or may not have seen this part, but it was also our weird news of the day that I put up on Facebook yesterday. A disturbing video of U.S. school students emerging where kids can be seen licking one another's toes at a fundraiser. What kind of sick freak teachers thought that this would be okay? In the footage, students at Oklahoma's Deer Creek High School were seen licking peanut butter off their classmates' bare feet while lying on their stomachs on what appears to be a gym floor. Students from grades 9 through 12 volunteered for the toe-sucking event. So stupid and gross and disturbing. So weird. Toe licking. And they allowed this. And they encouraged it for a fundraising event. That is the world we live in. Let's see here. Let's end our weird news with this one, a leap day miracle. In today's heartwarming story, I know my heart is warm from this story, a North Carolina woman has defied the odds, welcoming her newborn daughter on the same rare day that she was born herself, Leap Day. Her name is Dr. Kai Sun. She gave birth to her daughter Chloe on February 29th, despite the due date being 3 days prior. Dr. Sun, who also works at Duke Health, shared how her husband was discussing how cool it would be if the baby was born on the same day as her, and miraculously it happened. So again, that woman giving birth, she's the mom, a Leap Day baby, and now her daughter, a Leap Day baby. That is crazy. In fact, some would say it would be weird.
That is weird.
It's kind of weird. Let's go ahead and do the files of law and disorder. In some disorder today, police horses. Drivers on Ohio Interstate an Ohio interstate came upon an unusual traffic hazard over the weekend as a pair of police horses trotting against traffic on the highway, going down the road. The two animals on the lam caused an unusual traffic jam Saturday afternoon as they wove through slowing traffic and then stopped on Interstate 90. They stopped all the traffic on Interstate 90 in the downtown Cleveland area. Cleveland.com reports that video from Ohio Department of Transportation showed the animals trotting on the side of the road near the unit's stables at about 12:15 p.m. Saturday. They were slowing and then halting traffic. The camera follows the animals, ultimately trailed by a police cruiser with flashing lights as they were heading further along the highway and then down an on-ramp before cutting across a grassy section onto a side street and out of view. Luckily, they got both of the horses back and no further repercussions. But some police horses going down the interstate, on the wrong side of the interstate, in the wrong direction. I wonder if they got a ticket for that. Let's go ahead and do some good news.
Good news.
Good news.
Good news.
Where the good news is the bad news, don't get the final say.
All right, some good news today. As we mentioned, it's brought to us by Dr. Stacy Freeze at Lifetime Dental Solutions. Make sure you check her out here in town, 641-622-2669. And in some good news today, Alabama high school senior Lily Baker was driving to meet friends when she saw a 53-year-old woman whose wheelchair was stuck as she tried to cross the railroad tracks on foot. Baker, 18 years old, tried twice to carry the woman off the tracks, and then, when the train was less than 20 inches away, was somebody there measuring? Were they're like, as the train was approaching, did they get their measuring stick out and be like, 20 inches? I don't know. But when the train was less than 20 inches away, the girl grabbed as hard as I could to get her out of there. The train did clip the woman's feet, breaking both of her ankles and wrecking the wheelchair. But they say, quote, for an 18-year-old girl who is not big in stature to risk her life to save somebody else, she just showed that bravery comes in all shapes and sizes, according to the police. So that woman, again, saving the life of the 53-year-old wheelchair-bound woman from getting hit by a train. So that is some good news. Let's go ahead and do some duh.
Duh. Duh. Duh. Duh.
In some duh, well, in what many people thought would have been the world's easiest car theft, a man in Los Angeles popped behind the wheel of a driverless taxi in Los Angeles, only to discover that he couldn't make the car go. Instead, he heard a voice come from the Waymo taxi, Waymo, W-A-Y-M-O, Waymo, asking him to please get out of the fully autonomous vehicle. And when he didn't do so, the rep called police, according to the LAPD. Vincent Maurice Jones, 33, is now booked on suspicion of grand theft auto, trying to steal that car, trying to steal that taxi. But he didn't realize it was a electric automatic driving car that he is now in prison. You get a duh.
Duh. Duh. Duh. Duh.
Duh. And then finally, since we didn't get to do this yesterday, let's look at the top movies from the box office over the weekend. Dune came in at number 1. It underperformed with $81.5 million. The Bob Marley movie came in at number 2. It is all the way down to $7.4 million. After that, everything's under $4 million. Ordinary Angels, Madam Web, The Chosen, Migration, Demon Slayer, Wonka, Argyle, Beekeeper. A bunch of duds at the theaters right now, other than Dune. All right, so that'll do it for the morning wake-up here on Steve Shetler Media. Let's get a look at our forecast once again for today. It's brought to us by the Garden Gate. Cloudy skies and 53 degrees. North winds at 10 to 15 miles per hour. All right, coming up here today on Steve Shetler Media, it's a Tuesday, so we've got In Remembrance Of coming right up. We'll have What's Happening, the What's Happening video at noon today, and also Successful Farming later on today. Hopefully we'll hear from Jackie Jarms at Be the Light Ministry, and I think, I don't know, the Card Subject to Change pro wrestling show is either going to go up later on today or tomorrow. I can't remember because they're doing a different schedule this week with the pro wrestling guys. So anyway, that does it. Again, we thank Eddie at Home Plate Sports Cards for sponsoring our morning wake up here on Steve Shetler Media. We thank Oski Dental for sponsoring the studios here on the morning wake up. You guys have a great rest of your Tuesday. Otherwise, we'll see you back here at 7 a.m. tomorrow.